بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum. Is there anyone there? 2 minutes to 6:30 our time, our local time. I'm just checking if there's anyone there listening. Bismillah. Okay. طيب. Again, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All blessing be to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, can you hear me? Anybody there? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please just write down, type it down, that the sound is clear. Okay, so we're good. طيب, again, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. May Allah's peace be upon you all. Let's begin with the request, please. I just want to know that everyone has a notebook and a pen or a pencil, if you'd like. So, a notebook and a pen or a pencil, or like a tablet or something, just to write down the notes. And if you're ready, just type down that I'm ready, or just ready, to make sure that everyone listening, especially the youth, the young guys, young ladies, أهلا وسهلا يا سلمان. Welcome. So again, please, I want everyone to prepare to have a notebook or a tablet or a laptop or piece of paper just to write down the notes. We have Osama ready, Hajar ready, Hanadi. Out of 50 almost, 3 are ready. Okay, since we're waiting for others to be ready, can each one of you just write down where are you from, where are you living now? Are you living in Canada, in the States, in the Middle East? Just write down where do you live now. And if you'd like to add some information like how old are you, أهلا يا بيان. May Allah bless you all, inshallah. So we have Sumaya from States. Okay, Noor, States. She's from Jordan origin and lives in States. Bayan, Canada. Saad, Jordan, lives in UK. Okay. Who else? Hazem and Najwa, we live in Canada and we're Syrian. Palestinian in Syria. Palestinian in Syria. Ola, okay. Sabah, Moriel, okay. Canada. Palestine, Ahmed. Listening to you Arabic, it's strange but it's exciting. Okay, Osama. And then Osama. Okay, Suzanne. One, yes, from Guatemala. And you live in Guatemala? Okay. Michigan from Egypt. Okay, so we have Somalia, we have Canada, we have States, we have Syria, we have Palestine, we have Jordan, we have Morocco, we have Spain. Okay, Cairo, Egypt. طيب. Okay, cool enough. Qatar. Okay, so let's begin with the just an introduction, which is for me it's very important to talk about. We're here to talk about a very important and vital topic, which is who am I and why am I? Who am I and why am I? When I say it's a vital topic, I mean it's essential topic for life, not only for people who are might be husbands, wives, managers at offices, engineers, medical doctors. We're talking about something that's vital for every other human being on earth, every other person on earth. Okay, male or female, young or old. Who am I and why am I? Who am I and why am I? People who are asking about the language of presentation will be presenting the topic in English. I hope this will be clear. This presentation will be in English. Okay. It was written there in the ad, so I hope. Okay, inshallah. Right. So we're talking about a very important, essential, vital topic, which is who am I and why am I? And let's begin with this usual and recurrent example. Okay. Actually, it's not an example. It's something that happens with me every time I present such topic in a school, whether high school, middle school, even at the colleges or universities. I used to call people to come on the stage and I ask them, tell me who you are without telling me your name, your sex, your religion, and your career. So if I'm asking you who are you, don't tell me that I'm Abdurrahman. Okay, this is your name. And there are so many Abdurrahman out there. Okay, I'm a male. Okay, that's your sex or type, let's say. Okay, there are so many males out there. I'm Muslim. There are so many Muslims out there. Okay, I'm a medical doctor. I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm an educational counselor. There are so many others who have the same career as you do. Still, I'm waiting to hear what makes you, you. Okay? What makes you, you. When I'm talking about who am I and why am I, I'm talking about who am I, the essence that makes me, me, that makes you, you. I'm not talking about something that's spreading all over the world, shared with others, Of course, this is important, but I'm talking about something that's unique about you. That's unique about me. That's unique about her. That's unique about him. And believe me, every time I ask people this question, whether they're students, teachers, managers, principals, they all share the same facial expression. That's, I don't know, that's it. It's only my name, my religion, my sex. Sometimes they add hobbies. Okay, I like drawing, I like swimming, I like reading, I like novels, and that's it. And that's it. So it's very important, very essential, very, let's say, very vital, yet people, they don't know how to answer such question. They don't know how to answer such vital question, which is, who am I? What makes me me? Okay. Now let's begin with addressing these questions from a different perspective, okay? From a different point of view. Why do we care even to answer such questions? Why do we care to answer such questions? What if I don't care? What if I don't know the answers? I'm still living. I'm still here. Life is going on. So what makes these questions important? Why are you pushing us to feel like these are things that are very important, and if we don't know the answers, we have something wrong in our life? Here we're talking about something maybe old times, let's talk about like 100 years ago until maybe 30, 40 years back. It wasn't a fashion, let's say. It wasn't something common to see, which is people who don't care about such vital questions, such important questions. As far as I eat, drink, sleep, having fun, entertaining, I don't care if I know these questions or not, the answers for these questions or not. I escape from these questions. I'm afraid to be alone, so that if I have these questions in my mind, I might not find the answer, and if I might not find the answer, it will be difficult for me to face myself, to look at the mirror. So I just escape. I just hide myself. And it's very easy to escape these days. Okay, nowadays it's very easy to find somewhere to escape. Okay, to hide. Social media, digital media, YouTube, Instagram, so every other aspect in the internet, every other street, let's say, in the internet, room in the internet, you can hide away from yourself because you don't know how to answer these questions. How to answer these questions. So let's begin with the modules, or let's say the points I put in the description. The first one. Now, what makes these questions important? What makes these questions important? I would like to have like some comments, some answers from you. Okay, what do you think? What makes these questions important? Who am I and why am I? Why? Why do you think so? Why do you think so? Why do you think that these questions are important? As far as life is going on, I'm having fun, I'm having everything I need, why do I need to answer such questions? I'm waiting for answers. To know my purpose. Inas says, to know my purpose. Okay. What else? Okay, let me ask you, Inas. Are you telling me that people who don't know the answer for these questions, they don't have purpose in life? Identify yourself, identity, okay, to have goals and to achieve, because you need to know yourself. If you don't know who you are, okay, your breakdown, okay, to live as Allah wants from me, maybe because that's what makes anyone in this world unique, because it helps in confronting myself. I should have a goal in life, not only eat and drink, clear vision for life. Maybe they, okay, Ines answers, she says, maybe they have the wrong purpose. Or maybe they have the right one. What do you think, Ines? What do you all think? If I don't know the answers for these questions, I can still be living my life, go to school, having A+ grades, okay, graduating, college, university, having good life, making good money, income, marriage, sons, daughters, happy life, Muslim, praying, fasting Ramadan, paying zakat, but I don't have these answers. So why? Why do I need these answers? Why do I need these answers? Hamza says to avoid depression. To avoid depression. Another one mentioned suicide. If I don't know myself, I might reach to the point of committing suicide or thinking about suicide. It's important because you need to know what makes you unique. Someone can argue, Lily, someone can argue that even if I don't have these answers in my life, I can be a very unique film producer or movie star. They're still unique. We have to know ourselves. Why, ya Hidayah? Why you have to know yourself? Batul says to appreciate his or her life. Okay, there will be something missed. I think you will not be happy. To understand my purpose of this life and why I was created and why am I... Okay, I'm unique. To know myself. Okay, Usama, as a Muslim, because it's gonna determine the way we... Okay, Usama is approaching the full answer, let's say, or the ideal answer. It gives meaning to life. So Iman, you're saying that if someone who doesn't know the answers for who am I and why am I, he doesn't have a meaning of his life. Sad, there will be no point or value to what we do without having direction. Okay, or a direction in English, in British English. Okay, Maryam, that's right. What is right, Maryam Amal? What is right? What are you pointing to? Okay. Okay. I forgot to mention something. I'll be referring to some links on YouTube. I'll send it to the brothers and sisters at YOUTHNA. Okay. One of which, very famous Hollywood director, Woody Allen. In a conference, he's talking about the purpose of life, and he's talking about that because he doesn't know these answers, he makes movies and he makes films just to escape the answer, just to escape facing the questions. So for him, Hollywood, movies, making movies, filmmaking is all about distracting himself, distracting others, distracting the audience, because he doesn't know the answers for such questions. He doesn't know the answers for such questions. Okay. Okay. So let's answer the first question. Is it important to know such answers for such questions? Of course. Why? That's what makes a human being a human being. Okay? You can live a life just like animals. And sometimes even animals might be even more useful than some human beings. If your life is about eating, drinking, sleeping, having fun, entertaining, wasting time, okay, having everything you want, desires, let's say dreams, sometimes you might be even less than animals. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. They're just like cattle, they're just like animals. They're even worse. They're even worse. Why? Because they don't use the intellect that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them. They don't use the intellect to answer such questions. Who am I? Who brought me here? Is there a creator? Who's the creator? Why am I here? What am I doing on this in this life, on this earth? Where am I going to be after death? Is there another life after death? Is there an afterlife? Philosophy, schools, academy, universities, colleges, movies, video games, Netflix, these all, they don't have answers. They might provoke some answers. They might claim they have some answers. But actually, they don't have the answers for such questions. If you need the answer for these questions, you have to go back and to refer to the one who created you. Because he is the one who knows exactly why you are here and what exactly he wants from you to do. So again, why shall I ask these questions and why is it important to ask such questions? That's what makes me a human being on the first place. Number two, if I don't answer these questions, it will keep coming to my mind. And if it will come without answers, myself will be filled with question marks. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And I will escape hiding, answering so many silly questions. Who is the movie star for that movie? Who won Oscar for this year? What video game is the best 2020? Which anime shall I read after I finish the novel I'm reading now? People will escape and will hide answering so many silly questions, okay? So many nonsense questions in their life. And that's why if you go to YouTube and you see the trend, for example, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you'll see the trending actually, it's about nonsense. It's about something that will not help you really in your life. It will not help you when you're alone, when you need these answers, when you're facing a real trouble in your life. These things, the trend, most of the time will not help you. Will not help you. So number two, I need to answer these questions because it will keep coming to my mind. It will keep visiting me, nagging actually. And if I don't have these answers, it will end up by putting so many question marks in my head. And question marks will leave me alone with fear, with phobia, with anxiety, with depression, with obsessions, with so many negative thoughts and feelings. It might even end up with suicide, thinking about suicide, attempting suicide, committing suicide. So, I need to know the answers, I need to understand the answers. And when I say to know the answers, I don't want someone just to memorize an ideal answer, but if you ask him, what do you mean by the answer? He doesn't know, she doesn't know. And going back to the example I gave at the beginning, when I ask people, when I ask students, when I ask teachers in the schools, in college, universities, even in the courses we conduct at our center, when I ask them, tell me what do you mean about your answer. Yeah. For example, sometimes I ask someone, who are you? I'm a Muslim. What do you mean by Muslim? I worship Allah. What do you mean by worship? I pray and fast. How many times you pray a day? 5 times. What about the rest of the day? You're not worshipping Allah? You're being kafir? No. I fast. Okay, you fast Ramadan? Okay. Do you fast other than Ramadan? Any day of the year other than the Ramadan? No. So, just 5 prayers a day and you're fasting Ramadan, otherwise you're kafir, you're not worshipping Allah? No. I study and that's part of my worship. Okay, and how are you doing at school? Actually, I'm not doing good. I'm failing. Okay, so you're not doing good with the worship you just mentioned and you call studying. Okay, what else? I'm trying to be good to my parents. Birrul walidain. And how are you doing with that? Actually, they're not happy with me. They're not happy with me. So again, what do you mean by worshipping Allah? What do you mean by worshipping Allah? So many things we memorize, but we don't really understand. So we need to go back and rephrase our thoughts, revisit our thoughts, revisit the way we learn so many things. When I say who am I and why am I, I'm not only memorizing the answers. I have to understand the answers. I have to be convinced with the answers. So back to the question, is it important to know the answers for such questions? Of course, of course it's important. We're not animals. These questions will leave us with so many question marks, so many unknown. If I don't have the answers, I will end up by having so many troubles in my life. Okay, I don't know myself. I will hide. I'll escape. I'll be weak. I'll have so many complexes in my personality because I don't know exactly who am I and why am I. Number 3, if I don't have the answers for such questions, other people will come and try to impose their answers, their way of life, their, let's say, vision of life on my life, over my life. They'll try to convince me that the way they see life is the right way, is the best way, is better for my life. So I'll be living others' lives, not my life. I'll be following others, not managing and controlling my life. If I don't know myself enough, others will tell me that this is you. You're very good at this, so try to be an engineer, medical doctor, a graphic designer, a pilot. And what about me? I don't know myself enough. So others will keep telling me, this is you, because I don't know myself. By the way, who's coordinating here? I just need someone to remind me with the links I want to the youth to refer to after we finish. The first thing is the one we just mentioned, the Woody Allen Director Conference, and the second one is Barnum Effect for Darren Brown. Barnum Effect for Darren Brown. So, is there anyone here coordinating? Just let me know who might be in. Hi Maya, we're talking about this Maya, so just YOUTHNA. Okay. So please just write these down. Okay. Number 1, the link for Woody Allen, the clip for Woody Allen is Darren Brown, Barnum Effect, and number 3, the identity short clip. Just please write them down and remind me after we finish so that I can send you the clips or the links, the YouTube links, inshallah. Now, what if I don't care to answer these questions? What if I don't care? Something they call apatheism, not atheism. Atheism, not believing in God, denying God. Okay? Lack of believing in God. This is atheism. But when we say apatheism, which is lacking of caring about anything, I don't care. I don't care to know who am I and why am I. I don't care about these questions. I don't care about knowing these vital questions in my life. They call it apatheism. And if I'm one of these people, I'm called apatheist. Okay, apatheist. What's the problem? What if I don't care? What if I don't have enough, let's say, curiosity to know, passion to know who am I and why am I? Again, just like animals, even worse. So many things that will happen to me if I don't know the answers. And I'll knock the doors for psychiatrists, for clinical psychologists, for psychotherapists, seeking help, or even seeking help in novels, in movies, in video games, because I just want to escape from these questions. And number 3, it will end up with so many bad negative effects on my life and others. I will lead myself to be, let's say, affected and to be led by others. I'll be a victim for others. Now, number 3. No, let me go back to number 2. Some of you might say, Doctor, we see so many people around us. They don't care about these questions. They don't answer them. They don't have the answers, yet they live a happy life. They live a very happy life. Now, let me ask you, do you really believe they are happy? And how do you define happiness? How do you define happiness? And this will lead us to the 3rd point. What are people looking for in life? Usually, people will end up talking about something called tranquility, happiness, calmness, okay, relaxation. Anyone in this life, he will end up by answering these questions to reach a point where he or she wants to achieve something called happiness, tranquility, calmness, relaxing. Okay, we all want the same thing, even if we call it different names. Now, if people are looking for happiness, the question is, are they achieving what they're looking for? Are they happy? Are they really happy? The problem here is that when you try to judge yourself or others, sometimes you're judging the outside. You're being misled by the outside, by the fake life they are presenting you with. Okay? They are showing you that they're happy, but they're not. When you talk about, for example, superstars, movie stars, celebrities, they're showing you that they're happy, but they're not. And if you know behind the scenes, if you know the real problems at their homes, at their secret lives, Okay, they're not happy. You can see addiction, you can see misconduct, you can see cheating, you can see suicide, you can see depression, you can see so many negative effects in their lives. Okay? But the media tries to impose this idea that this is happiness. This is happiness. And this again will lead us to the coming point, which is adrenaline, dopamine, endorphin, serotonin. What about these hormones? And why do we need to know about these hormones? You know about adrenaline, okay? Adrenaline means if you are anxious enough, if you are threatened enough, if you are thrilled enough, sometimes if you're happy, but not the real happiness, happy because you won a game, for example, if you fear something, if you're trying to play a game that you don't know exactly what will happen in the details of these games, of this game, you'll have the adrenaline, okay, gush, let's say, okay? This is something that will give you some sort of momental happiness, some happiness that will last for a couple of seconds or maybe a couple of minutes, not more. This is adrenaline, okay? Same thing with dopamine. The dopamine, it's a hormone that has something to do with what they call the reward cycle. You play a game, you won, okay, or you win, you have the dopamine raised. After it went back down, you'll try to find something else to raise the dopamine again, and so on and so forth, okay? This is the reward cycle. People are looking for the adrenaline and dopamine. But the adrenaline and dopamine will give you just a momental happiness. They will not give you a real happiness. They will cause you to be addicted to something. The thing that you're addicted to, if it's not there, if it's finished, if it's gone, it's not that you'll be going back to the normal status of yourself. No. You'll go down to feel depressed. And that's why you see people try to escape from anything that will leave them away from video games, Netflix, movies, any gush of adrenaline or dopamine. From a post to another post, from a clip to another clip. This is what happens actually with most people who tries to keep the dopamine and especially the dopamine raised. But actually, what you need to know is that it's not the dopamine or the adrenaline. It's something they call the serotonin and endorphin. Serotonin and endorphin. And anyone here who studies chemistry, biology, they know about these things. I need the serotonin to be there because it will give me calmness, real happiness, and it will last long time. Long time. Now, I ask a question. Which one is in control? Which one is in control? Is it me that's in control for raising and, let's say, controlling these hormones? Or is it them that's controlling me or that are controlling me? Dopamine might be controlling me and I'll be a victim. I'll be an addict because dopamine is the one in control now. Or is it me who's in control? Someone might ask, what these have to do with the topic, who am I and why am I? Who am I and why am I? Dopamine, adrenaline, endorphin, serotonin. What these have to do with others? What do you think? What do you think? Let me have some answers. What these hormones and controlling the hormones and addiction have to do with who am I and why am I? What do you think? I'm waiting for answers. Ladies and gentlemen, young guys, young women, young ladies, control them and decide what makes you happy. Marwa says you control them and decide what makes you happy. Misbah say to understand what I do have control on and what I do not. Okay. They give you mental happiness, so people do these things more, so they think they're more happy. Okay, I'm still waiting for what does it have to do with the topic? Who am I and why am I? Who says that? Sumaya says it's related to find a reason to stay alive. Perfect answer. It's related to find a reason to stay alive. Okay. Your addiction and hormones and decisions and all the shape you. Okay. Akram, the address, the YMI Porsche. Okay. Since we'll forget ourselves. Okay. We'll come to answer some questions like how to control them. What about serotonin? How to be happy. We'll come to this later, inshallah. Okay. Nice answers. Actually, when you think of who am I and why am I, when you say that I am the human being, the human self who was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from body and soul, so that I worship, He ordered me to worship Him with. And there's something called Jannah as a reward for me. But in this life, there will be some pain and gain. No pain, no gain without pain. Okay? If I know this, it will be very easy for me to know that if I need to study, it will be painful at the beginning. If I need to exercise, it will be painful at the beginning. If I need to stop myself from following or watching, for example, some silly channels on YouTube or some influencers, following some of silly influencers, it will be painful at the beginning. If I know who am I and why am I, it will make things easier for me to stop myself, to be powerful enough, to be strong enough to get away from these silly things that are actually stealing my life. But if I don't know these answers, if I don't know the rule that's no pain, no gain, the rule that wherever there's a pain, there's a gain. Wherever there's let's say a reward, there's something hard to be taken in order to get to this reward. This is life. But when you talk about media, when you talk about the delusion in the media, the illusion of the media, the illusion of the novels, of the movies, of Netflix, of They're trying to convince you that everything is about fun, everything is about entertaining. You can do whatever you want without any pain, without any hardship. And this is wrong. This is false. Okay. They're fooling you. They're stealing your life just because they want to be millionaires, billionaires. They're trying to sell you their products to make you just consuming and consuming and consuming, trying to find happiness, but you're not finding it. You're not finding it. I keep asking youth, especially the young guys, when you play a game, do you ask yourself, the one who made the game, who manufactured the game, who sold the game, okay, who advertised the game, what exactly he wants from you? Does he want you to be calmer, happier, stronger, or he wants you to be weaker so that you will still be buying, consuming the products he manufactures? Actually, it's number two. He wants you to be weak, addict, so that you will keep buying and consuming, so that he will be wealthier, richer, okay, or richer, because you don't know actually who you are and why you are. He doesn't care about you. They don't care about you. They care about themselves, they care about their pockets, about their money, about their position, about their villas, about their yachts, about their lifestyle. They don't care about you. But the problem here is when you forget about yourself and you forget to give yourself enough appreciation, that you appreciate yourself enough not to let the keys of yourself in others' hands, as if they are controlling you with the remote control. Come to our stores, come and consume, come and buy, and stay consuming so that we stay as we want to. And I don't care about you, I don't care about yourself, I don't care about your career, I don't care about your future life, I don't care about your deen, I don't care about your iman, I don't care about your belief, I don't care about your afterlife. For me, I don't care about you. Okay. Now the question is, what makes me me? And what makes you you? What makes him him? What makes her her? What makes us us? What makes an individual himself or herself? What do you think? Let me have some answers. What makes me me? My soul. Ola says my soul. My purpose of life. Our goals. His way of thinking. My priorities. The reason you're on earth. Your habits make you who you are. Our goals in life. My personality, my goals. My thoughts, vision, our actions, and how we chose to live, how we choose to live. Am I useful or just wasting time? What am I doing in my life? Where I am in this life and where I want to be, what thoughts, my deen, using my Okay. Okay, Ayla. Ayla al-Barbarawi, I'll come back to your point because it's not that easy to live your life while consuming their products and being part of their plan and building their own empires. Okay. I'll come to that point later. Okay. Okay. So when we think about what makes me me, actually it's not only one thing. Because if you see, like if you say my body, your body, what do you mean by your body? Is it your biceps, your triceps, your six packs, your eyes, your ears, your heart, your liver, your spleen? What do you mean by your body? If you say my soul, what do you mean by your soul? What difference does it make your soul from other souls? Especially if we don't know exactly what soul is. If you say my deen, my religion, okay, but you're a Muslim and I'm Muslim. So what makes you you? What makes me me? If you say my family, what do you mean by your family? Because your family is your brother's family, is your sister's family. So what makes you you? Actually, it's a complex of things. It's a complex of things. So when I say what makes me me, it's not only one thing. No. It's my body and soul, which is the self. The complex of my body and soul. The hardware and the software. It's the inputs I receive and I choose to receive, because these inputs will fill myself until it becomes a habit that I make and I do in my daily life. Every single detail in my daily life out of these inputs. So the media might contribute and share to my identity. The video games, the movies, the cartoon, the every other single input I choose, especially when I choose them and I open my head, I open my brain, my mind to fill myself with these inputs. So there's me, and there's the inputs I receive from the outer world. There's the environment, and especially the environment I choose to be part of. I choose to be surrounded by masjid, school, street, neighborhood, people around me, parents, mother, father, siblings, brothers, sisters, colleagues, friends, intimate friends, people I know through the social media, the role models I dream to be as, or I like to be like this star or this or the prophet or the companions or the role models. My goal, my target in life, my purpose in life, my thoughts, my feelings, my behavior, every other single one of this will come together. All together will make me me. It's not only one thing. It's not only one thing. So again, it's myself, the body and soul together, the hardware and the software, as I like to call them. The inputs I receive from the environment around me, especially the inputs that I choose to fill myself with, and that's what makes the medium very dangerous. Because the media I choose and I keep watching, actually it will make myself something different or someone different than the one who choose another input, another medium to fill herself or himself with. The environment I choose to be surrounded by, again, whether home, not exactly not home, but maybe the neighborhood, the masjid, the center, the Islamic center, the club, the gym, the school, and people who are living with me, starting with my parents up to the role models and celebrities I follow, YouTubers, gamers, hackers, influencers, Instagrammers, all together, they come up with one product who is me. What do you think is the most important factor of these whole factors I just mentioned? What do you think? What do you think? Which is the most important factor that makes me me? Okay, Ula says the input, Akram says the environment, Sundus input, Sana says your role model, Sumaya says media. Okay. The thing I do, why I do things and receive, the environment, they're all the same, Hajar says. Environment, the biggest factor is whoever, the influencers, okay, the input, media, people, the way you depend on, okay, the input, choices we make, okay, what I want, my personal traits, the soul. Okay. Actually, what makes me, it's not only the inputs. It's not. Again, they're all together makes me. But the most important factor is the way I think, the way I feel, the way I behave. Which is, let's call it the processes that happen inside myself. Because if you say it's media, you can easily argue about that. Some people, they receive the same media, the same inputs, the same role models, the same family, the same movies, the same Instagrammers, the same, but they have different way of thinking, different way of feelings, different way of behaving. So actually, to put it simple, the way you think, the way you deal with these inputs, the way you process things, it's what makes you you. And again, input is very important, media is very important, environment is very important, family is very important, parents, friends, yes, they're all very important, but the most important is what makes you you mostly is the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave. Now, how do I process these things? That's another different story, which is we call it the thinking methodology. How to think, how to decide, how to know things that this is right, this is wrong, what makes this right or wrong. How can I perceive inputs and act upon them and analyze them? How to dissect and to analyze the inputs in order to come out wisely with decisions that will not make me sad later on. Okay, that's a different story. Okay, but this is the most important. What makes me me, actually, mostly, is the way I look at myself, the way I look at the relation between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way I look to my relation with others. Allah, me, others. The way I process these relations, it's what makes me me. And the details will come later, which is the way I dress, the way I eat, the way I talk to others, the way I listen to others, the way I write down notes and to be patient while I'm listening to something, the way I let's say, mind my behavior and mind myself enough to stop from harming myself with silly stuff, with nasty materials, with addicting to such game and such YouTube channel. Or this what makes me me, and everything will follow. My goal, my identity, my mission in life, my daily life experience, my daily life scenario. This what makes me me. What makes me me? How do I deal with others? How do I talk to others? How do I stop myself from being nervous? How do I control my temper? This what makes me me. It's not easy just to tell you that, okay, what makes you you is your goal. It's not only your goal. Your religion, it's not only your religion. Your role model, it's not only your role model. But again, all together with the way you process them will make you who you are. For example, you might have a brother or a sister. Both of them, the role model for them is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and then Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali, etc. Or a teacher or a sister, or but X person is different than Y person, because there's another factor, another very important factor. Okay, Muhammad is my role model, but how do I process this role model? How do I understand this role model? How do I act upon this role model? It's not easy. It's not easy. And that's why I keep telling people, the more patient you are, the more strong you are, the more patient you are, the more active and the more smart you are. Don't take everything easy. Don't take it so easy that, okay, it's all about fun. I just want to be funny, entertaining. Okay, you will end up lazy. You will end up fail. You will end up homeless maybe. It's easy. It's easy. It's very easy when you let yourself to get down with the gravity. That's easy. But it's very difficult to try to keep yourself against the gravity, against the current, against what they call the peer pressure. It's not easy. But keep this in mind. When it's not easy, most of the time, it's because it's right. When it's not easy, it's hard because it's the right. And that's why they keep saying, there's either the right way or the easy way. The right way or the easy way. Because the right way is difficult way. But afterwards, it becomes easier. The pain and the difficulty and the hardship is at the beginning. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran says, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. And those who try hard, who struggle وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا, who struggle their path for the sake of Allah. لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا, we will show them our path. We will show them as-sirat al-mustaqim. When it's not easy, when it's hard, keep this in mind. It's because it's the right way, most of the time. It's very easy not to study, to keep watching movies, having fun with others, wasting time on social media. It's easy, and it's easy to fail. It's hard to keep myself patient, study, focus, switch off the cell phone. It's hard because it's the right way to get to the A grades. The question after that, or the point after that, what everything we mentioned have to do with my daily life, home, cell phone, movies, Netflix, social media, video games, etc. Everything we mentioned have to do with everything we do in our life. So don't think it's easy just to say, I'm Muslim. Okay? Show me that you are Muslim the way you choose your video game. How to have fun. What to do in your free times. The way you dress. The way you choose your t-shirts, your pants, your shoes. If you know exactly who you are and why you are, you will stop and think, the t-shirt or the pants or the shoe or the video game I'm buying now, what does it have to do with my identity? With who am I and why am I? This is very important. Because it's very easy just to say I'm Muslim, but at the end of the day, I'm paying my money to Netflix, to the non-believers, to the let's say the misleaders, okay, to people who are actually against us and who work against us and against our deen, against our religion. I'm giving them money. I'm giving them money. Why? Because actually I don't know exactly what does it mean to answer who am I and why am I. It's easy to say I'm Muslim, but I'm addicted to movies, addicted to Netflix, addicted to YouTubers, addicted to Instagrammers, but I'm a Muslim. What Islam has to do with everything that you just mentioned that might at the end of the day lead you to be working against Islam. Against Islam. But you don't know. Why? Because the answer for who am I and why am I is not practical. You just memorize them, but you don't act upon them. You don't act upon them. The last point, which is basics for better life, body and soul. There are 5 steps, 5 main steps, which is something that I do, my wife does, my both daughters do. Every other one I meet in my courses, in my lectures, in my clinic, I keep advising them with this. Number 1, الصلاة على وقتها. Prayer at times. Prayers at their times. This will make me always remind myself who am I and why am I. Number 2, certain actions that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam didn't forget about them in each day of his life. And some of the scholars say he was doing them even when he's traveling. Like Sunnat al-Fajr, the 2 rak'ahs before al-Fajr. and rak'ata al-duha, the 2 rak'ah at the daytime before al-dhuhr, between al-fajr and al-dhuhr. 3, reciting Quran daily, even at least 1 page with tafsir. Al-adhkar, you know dhikr, adhkar al-sabah wal-masa, day and night. And last of them, rak'at al-witr, the 1 rak'ah that you pray after Isha and before Fajr. And most of the time people would, and I would rather advise you to pray this rak'ah before you go to bed. Number 3, you have to read every day. And reading, there are some readings that you need to know about yourself as a human being, as a Muslim, and reading that has to do with your career, being a student, which is something that to do with the school, chemistry, English, literature, physics, biology. 4, sports, exercise, at least 30 minutes a day. 5, fun and entertaining. This is something that you have to do every day, provided in one condition, that when you're having fun and when you're entertaining yourself, don't break everything you build with the 4 things that we just mentioned. Some people, because they're having fun, they will go and watch things that will wash out everything they built, they did, they exercised with the first 4 parts of their daily life. That's everything I have for today. If there's any question, I'm waiting for your questions, your comments. Otherwise, I finished. But I have one request after we finish, inshallah. Let me have the questions first, and then I'll ask you to do something as a homework. But let's have the questions if there's any question. Okay, the 5 things are as-salatu ala waqtiha, the prayers at their times. Second, there are 5 things in the second point. Rak'ata al-fajr, the sunnah before al-fajr. Rak'ata al-duha, the sunnah between the sunrise and al-dhuhr, the noon time. Al-adhkar, and then the reciting Quran every day, and rak'at al-witr, before going to bed. 3, reading something about you as a human being, as a Muslim, something that has to do with your career. 4, exercise, sports. 5, fun and entertainment. Okay. Do you have to stop playing video games or just be moderate? For me, Sana, stop it. Just ask yourself, what do video games give you? Funny? Yes, it's funny. Wasting time? Wasting time. Does it really help building your personality? Actually, it's not. But it's because everyone is doing it. It makes things easier for me just to follow the current, as they say. Lily, there's so many good things you can have fun with, but the problem is that the medium makes it difficult for us to be happy with so many things we have. reading, gathering with friends, with family, sports, exercise, going to some restaurant and eating something that's delicious and we like to eat, to try, helping others, joining some clubs or some outreach activities. There are so many things that will raise the dopamine, even the dopamine and the serotonin at once. But the problem, the media made it very difficult for us to be entertained and happy with so many good stuff. That's why we became very closed-minded that having fun is only about movies, silly stuff at YouTube or Instagram or whatever, video games, nasty stuff, bad mouth, okay, bad talk, having fun of others, but it's not. This is not real life. This is the illusion that the media is trying to give us to convince us that this is life, which is not. Alia says, if someone asks me who am I and why am I, what shall I answer? It depends on you, but for me, I'm a human self who was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to worship Him the way He ordered me and asked me to worship Him with. This is me. And there are so many details, but this is me. Before going to say that I am Abdurrahman, I am Muslim, I'm from Iraq, I live in Jordan, these are all details, but this is in general me. Sundus, you have to be patient in order to go further positively with the self-reading booklet, the Qiraat al-Nafs. You have to be patient. It's painful at the beginning, yes, I know, but you have to be patient. How to convince a child to do all the child before 7 years of old, he doesn't have to do the 5 steps I just mentioned, but you can train him or her to do things step by step. And for me, the key point here, the key answer is to try to convince the child by putting him in an environment that's calm, that's happy, because otherwise he will hate doing this. He will hate religion. He will hate the role models that have to do something with religion. Summer, if you need to play video games, which is not something that necessary. And I know so many kids, boys and girls, they know nothing about video games. They're happy, mashallah. They have so many good things that fill their time. But if you want to play video games, at least try some video games that the content is good, the culture is good, the site is good, it has no haram in it, which is, I don't know if there's such video games, I'm not sure. Saad, that's a very important question, very, very smart question. What comes first, knowing who am I or why am I. Actually, why am I? Because let's suppose that you say, why am I? My goal is to be a football player. That's your goal. After putting your goal number one, now it will become your identity that will follow your goal. So you will be watching sports, playing FIFA, following Messi and Muhammad Salah and whoever, Barcelona, Madrid, whoever. So your identity will follow your goal. So number one for me is the goal. Who am I? Akram, again, there are so many good things that you can have fun with. I just mentioned, so I'll just go to the next question. Can we control adrenaline and dopamine, and how? The 5 steps I just mentioned help you to do so, because it helps you to be patient and do things gradual. You don't do things fast, and you just do it just to have fun and to experience the taste of the desire, let's say, okay? And you keep rewarding yourself and asking for another reward. The 5 steps I just told you will help you be patient and keep things gradual enough, and you will be in control. Do I recommend any books in English? It depends on what are you looking for. But for example, you can, if you want to study the seerah, the Prophet's life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a book called Muhammad for Martin Ling. Martin Ling. It's very good. You can read There's a God for Anthony Flew, the famous atheist who after something like 80 years of atheism, he became a believer. Not a Muslim, a believer, just he believes in God. There's a God for Anthony Flew. Jeffrey Land, Even Angels Ask, Struggle to Surrender, Losing My Religion, for Jeffrey Land. Ahmed, for someone who's easily distracted by anything while studying, while reading, to begin with, any cell phone, any tablet, put them away.